দেখো তো স্ক্রিন শেয়ারিং চালু হয়েছে?
স্যার এখনো
স্ক্রিন
হয়নি।
শেয়ারিং, আচ্ছা, হোপফুলি এবার হয়েছে। হয়েছে?
নো স্যার, হ্যাঁ এবার হয়েছে।
Yes, sir. It's visible.
So now today we'll be starting the like your a discussion on the SF and the BM diagrams. So the shear force and bending moment diagrams, we will be drawing those on a beam actually. So a beam, so the definition of a beam, if you want to understand, so it's like given in the book of Timoshenko. So page number, like chapter number 5, first line. So I'm just reading that out. So this is the chapter on shear force and bending moment diagram. So if you see like a structural member, that is reasonably long compared to its lateral dimensions. So like whenever we are having a structure that is comparatively longer in length compared to its lateral dimensions. So and when it is suitably supported, so there are certain support conditions and subjected to transverse forces. So a beam always carries transverse forces, so applied so as to induce bending of the member in an axial plane is called a beam. So if you are having the book of Timoshenko at a later time or whenever you feel like, so you go to chapter number 5, the first line. So the definition of a beam. So first, in order to understand what is the shear force and the bending moment diagrams, so we have to understand what is our basic things about beams. So what is a beam? So beam is, firstly, it's a structural member. So whenever you are making some structure like suppose you are making a house, you are making a like bridge and all those things. So whenever you are making a structure, an engineering structure, so it's made of certain components. So the major components that it is made of is, number one is beams, number two is columns. So if you look at the room that you are sitting into, so you are having columns. So you are having 4 columns at the corners of the room actually. So there are 4 columns. So they are actually supposed to bear the compressive forces, and every other column is being fixed with certain horizontal members. So those horizontal members are known as the beams. So suppose you are having your room, so you are sitting on your room like something like the room is made of something like this. So initially how a room is made is like they are fitted with columns. So on every corner we make some columns. So these are actually vertical members. So the difference between a beam and a column is a beam is a horizontal member and a column is a vertical member. So these are columns actually. So there are 4 columns fitted on the 4 corners of the room, vertical members. So whenever the load is being applied, so suppose there are load, so suppose these are the loads that are acting on the column. Okay, so these are the loads that are acting on the column. So you can see that the columns are always subjected to your vertical compressive or axial compressive forces. So if you consider a column, which we'll be studying later on, so suppose this is a member. So suppose I am having a member, and while in structural application, it is always placed into in a vertical position. So whenever this thing is placed in a vertical position and a compressive load is axial compressive load is applied on it, so that is known as a column. And what are beams? So beams are like, so suppose these are then joined using some horizontal members. So these are the horizontal members that are joined on the columns actually. So if I see, so if I now consider the beam actually, so the beam is something like, so you can see that the beam is actually carrying a transverse load. How a transverse load? Now I'm drawing it for you. So whenever I consider the diagram of a beam actually, so suppose I'm drawing out a beam. So a beam is something like, say, suppose this. So this is the beam. So number one is the beam is a horizontal member. Number one. Number two is it's I mean the longitudinal direction. So if I go by the definition, so the longitudinal dimension. So the longitudinal dimension is for the beam always the x-axis. We take it as its longitudinal direction. And what are the what are the lateral dimensions? So the lateral dimensions are this one. So the length. So if I consider the cross section of the beam, so now this is the cross section of the beam. So on the side view, so suppose this is the y plane and this is the yz plane actually. So on the yz plane, so this is the cross section of the beam that has been drawn on the right side. So if these dimensions, so b and h, so if the transverse directions, which are the b and h in this case, are much smaller compared to the length of the beam, so in that, so that becomes the, so that is a beam actually. So for a beam actually, the lateral dimensions like b and h, they are much smaller compared to the length of the beam. So that actually induces something that is called a plane stress case actually. So what is the plane stress? What is plane strain? That is a part of our syllabus. Jeta amra we will be discussing just on the next chapter. So plane stress conditions. So while we assume this or the plane stress conditions, when we assume that the transverse dimensions like B and H, they are actually much smaller compared to the length dimension. So these these lateral dimensions are much smaller compared to your longitudinal directions. This is number one. Now is how the beam is being fitted and how it's being loaded. So a beam can be fitted in numerous number of positions. So suppose I'm just representing it by a line. So what is the basic position is like? I can fit it at one end. An application being, say, suppose you're like the thing I discussed, like beam. Suppose you consider like a bridge and all those things. So if you consider a bridge is a double cantilever actually. So a double cantilever or double simply support, if you go like, so if the Howrah bridge, if you consider, it's a like double cantilever bridge. Okay? So if I fit it at one end, so this sort of a beam is known as a cantilever beam. So this is the cantilever. Then it can be fitted like something, say, suppose this. So on one end it's fixed, so it cannot move like, and on the other roller support. So I'm putting some rollers here. So this is known as a simply supported or SS beam.
Please see
Simple
if someone
supported or
wants to
simply
join or not.
supported. Looking. So simply supported or SS. Second. 1 minute. And then you can have a cantilever beam. So cantilever beam is something like it is fixed at both the ends. So it is fixed at both the ends. So this is this is known as a clamped beam. So these are the boundary conditions of a beam. So what are these? These are known as the boundary conditions or the fixity conditions of a beam. How it is being fixed. So based on these boundary conditions, actually we will be it actually helps us to solve some differential equation. So suppose I form a differential equation of the beam for its, say, deflection forces and all those things. So on the fixity ends, like whenever you are having a support condition, so these are actually support conditions. So whenever you are having a support condition, on those support conditions you can actually apply the boundary conditions or initial conditions, whatever you say. Okay, so if they are like time-based conditions, they are initial conditions, and when you are applying like structural conditions, you can apply like boundary conditions. Suppose the degrees of freedom at the fixed end, they are actually 0. So for any point lying on the fixed end, actually UVW, all those degrees of freedom will be 0. Okay. So whenever you're making a fixity, so whenever I'm making a fixity on a thing actually, so what happens is there will be reactive forces set up on the element. So what are the reactive forces? So suppose I am having a cantilever beam like this. So it's like loaded like this. So suppose it's not cantilever, it's a simply support. So I'm having a SS beam like this. So whenever I'm loading it, say suppose I'm loading it something like this. So what will be happening is like, so it will be always subjected to certain reaction forces. So whenever you are having a support, there will not be. So suppose you are having it, so you are having a like support at this, you are having a support at this, and you are loading it somewhere. So only the reaction forces will be set up at the support, not somewhere like here. Suppose I am having the points A, B, and C. So the reactive forces will always be set up at the points A and C, not at an intermediate point like B. Since at point B, actually, it is free to move anywhere. But the point A, it is actually constrained to move. So whenever you are considering the point A here, so see, it is fixed. So there you will be having a RY, you will be having a RX. But when you come to this one, so when you are coming to a roller support, I hope you have studied these roller supports and all in mechanics and all. So whenever you are considering a roller support, you will be having a vertical reaction. Say suppose you are having something like R2, but you won't be having any horizontal reaction. So since it's a roller, it can actually slide on in this direction, like X direction, it can slide out. Or it can move actually. So whenever that degree of freedom is free, or it can move actually. So there will be no reactive forces set up on those points actually. So where the reactive forces are supposed to be set up, so the reactive forces will always be set up at the points wherever you are applying a fixity. You are making something like fixed and all. So at a point B, like it won't be having any sort of reaction because it is free to move. It is free to move. This point is free to it is free to move angularly, it is free to move like any direction. So that is why there will be no reactive forces set up at the point B. But if I consider the point like A, C, these 2 points, so these 2 points will always be having certain reactive forces set up on them based on which degrees are actually, which DOFs are actually constrained. So you have heard about the term degrees of freedom. Degrees of freedom mean how many directions actually, how many independent directions it can move. Because it can move in various directions, but what are the independent directions it can move? So let's call it like u, v, and w, and suppose say for rotation theta x, theta y, theta z. So it can move in like so whatever are the degrees of freedom that is fixed. So on those direction you will be having that number of reactive forces set up on the element. Number one. So we define beam now.
Sir,
So now
please see
so
if
whenever
someone is. Sir, actually, I think there are 2-3 people who are trying to.
okay, so let me wait for 2-3 minutes. So you go to the note actually. So you can see that I have drawn some like shear force and bending moment diagram, some sign conventions that has been taken from the book of Timoshenko and Young. So that is given in the book of Timoshenko and Young. So if you go to the chapter number 5, stresses in beam part 1, you can see that just on the third page, like in my edition, it's like page number 97. You can see that figure number 5.3. So there are certain like your sign conventions that we will be following. So you can understand that whenever there are things like moments and forces and all those things are getting setting up, so you have to go by certain sign conventions. So coming back to what we were discussing was like, so how the shear force and bending moment are getting set up on the beam. So suppose I am having a like say suppose I am having a cantilever like this. So say it's being loaded somewhere, like say suppose it's being loaded by two forces. Suppose I am having a force of P1 here and I am having a force of P2 here. So this force is actually contributing. So P1 and P2, they are actually contributing to two sort of effects. One is the shearing force. So where is the shearing force acting? So the one is the shearing force. So where is the shearing force acting? So if I now consider this point and if I consider it in the lateral plane, so if I draw this cross section or the lateral plane, so actually this force is actually your shear force actually. So that is why it will cause some shearing of the element. So if I divide it now into three parts, so I'm dividing it into three parts, say suppose A, B, and C. So if I consider the point A actually, so if you see like if I draw the cross section at the point C, so there is a force P1 acting on this one. So you can see that P1 is actually having a shearing effect. So it's causing some shear forces. So those shear forces, when we define them, how they vary along the length of the structure gives us a diagram which is known as a shear force diagram. So if I draw something like say shear force, I'm calling it like V. So since V is a variable, so V can actually change along the span length of the beam actually. So if I say like Vx, so Vx is actually varying along X. So if I draw this Vx, so if I plot V versus X, so if I plot of Vx versus X, so I will be getting like the shear force diagram, SF diagram. Similarly, how the moments, so similarly, so as you can see now if you start moving on the beam actually, like if you start moving from C to like A, so you see that up to C to B there the shear forces are actually constant. So whatever is the shear force, it starts from A up to B. So if you draw a free body diagram, the shear force is constant for the part BC. Now whenever I cross the point B actually, the shear force actually it may change sign because there is an additional shear force on the opposite direction. So for the part AB, I have to draw a free body diagram and calculate what are the shear forces acting. So that is why you can say that on the length X of the beam or on the span length of the beam, the shear force is varying. So whenever I plot it, so I will be getting something which is actually the shear force diagram. Similarly, now if I come to bending, so like whenever the force P1 is actually acting, so the beam will bend like something like this. So it was the initial length actually, so it will try to bend something like this. So if it was initially like AC, so it gets a shape like AC prime, something like this. So whenever you are causing a lateral force on the element, it is actually bending. So that bending actually, so the lateral deflection of the beam actually, so that bending actually we will be calculating. So how is the bending occurring? So this part AC will bend like this, and if I consider the part AB actually, so if I consider the part AB which was initially horizontal, so after the application of the load, it will bend something like this. So now if I superimpose these two actually, so if I superimpose the part A and part B, so I will be getting the final bending moments at every point acting on the beam AC actually. So this is actually the superimposition of the bending moments acting on the part AC, considering P2 was absent and then considering P1 was absent. If I draw and then superimpose, I will be getting a bending moment diagram. So as you can understand, this bending moment again, so if I call it like MX, so at any cross section of the beam, so if I call it like MX, so MX actually varies with the span length or X of the beam. So now if I plot MX versus X, so now if I plot of MX versus X, so I will be getting a diagram. So that diagram is known as the bending moment diagram or the BM diagram. ठीक है? So in this way you can understand that since a beam actually, so it's always subjected to lateral forces. So always for a beam you have to understand that the forces are lateral, so that it only affects in shearing. So for a beam, it won't ever be carrying like your forces in these directions, like normal forces for the beam. So the force won't ever be in this direction. Always the forces on the lateral directions. Okay, so always the forces cause some shearing effects, and as well they cause some bending. So if I plot those shearing forces like Vx and the bending like Mx along the span length of the beam, so I will be getting a shear force diagram. And similarly, if I plot the moments, I will be getting a bending moment diagram. Now, how about plotting these moments on the beam actually? So in order to understand, so now you can understand that whenever I'm plotting something, I have to assume certain like sign convention. So unless I am having a sign convention, so say A and B, two persons, they will be ending up with different SF and BM diagrams. So that is why. So this is a general. So you can ask, sir, why this one? I can always have a different sign convention. That's very fine. You can have your own share on your own sign conventions and all. But always when you are doing a problem, it's better that before starting of the problem, you write one thing like sign convention and start your problem, because everything that you did in the problem will be interpreted based on the sign conventions that you have adopted at the start of the problem. So many books like they have different sign conventions and all, and it becomes something like very much confusing sometimes which kind sign convention has been followed. So
স্যার
to state categorically, bolo.
স্যার এই ভিএক্সটাকে আপনি ওখানটায় কি ধরেছিলেন স্যার আগের স্লাইডটা?
যাবো আরো করবো, ভিএক্স নিয়ে আরো ডিসকাশন করবো, ঠিক আছে? আচ্ছা, ভিএক্সটা হচ্ছে শিয়ার ফোর্স। আমি ভিএক্স নিয়ে আবার শুরুই করবো। ভিএক্স ফ্রম ভিএক্স we will be starting. So আচ্ছা, যেটা আমি বলছিলাম যে in many books actually they have different sign conventions, so that is why it sometimes becomes very confusing. But মানে just you have to bear with that. So that's the main thing. Acha, so যেটা হচ্ছে যে the thing I will be following is like I will be following the sign convention from the book of Timoshenko and Young, and whatever is the answer coming, that answer will come. So just if you are assuming a different sign convention, the signs will be different, nothing else. The shapes will remain the same. ঠিক আছে? Okay, so now I'm taking a part of the beam. So suppose I was having a beam, so say suppose I am having a length of the beam. Say suppose this is the length of the beam that has been subjected to certain forces and certain fixity conditions. Say suppose cantilever simply supported any fixity condition. So what I'm doing is I'm considering a part of the beam, say Mn. So now if I draw this like part Mn actually, so what are the shear force and bending moments acting on this part Mn? So I'm taking out a part Mn of the beam actually. So if I say like, so what are the SF and the BM diagrams? So if the SF and BM, so this is a sign convention. This has nothing to do with the problems and all. So this is a sign convention. So this is my positive. This is my positive bending moment. So this is and and this is not VM.
স্যার ভয়েস ইজ গ্লিচিং,
স্যার আরেকবার বলবেন স্যার, শুনতে পেলাম না।
ভয়েস গ্লিচ করছে।
একটা ফোন আসছে বলে, কল আসছে, লাইক ডিভাইড করে দিন, নাহলে কনফিউজড হয়ে যাবে। So this is M and this is M. So this is V, this is V. So this is my positive thing and this is my negative thing. So this is the positive shear force diagram and this is the negative shear force diagram. Okay, so what is the positive shear force diagram? So whenever I am having an element which is actually having two shear forces like this, so this is V actually on this side and I am having a V on the downward side on N actually, or on the right side. So on the right side I am having V to be downwards and on the left side I am having V to be upwards, so that if I consider the net effect, it is actually a clockwise rotation. So in that case I will take the shear forces to be positive. And just the reverse case, when the shear force or B actually is downward on the left side and upward on the right side, such that the net effect of rotation due to the shear forces is actually anti-clockwise at the center of the element. So if I consider this to be the center of the element, so at the center of the element actually how the shear forces are rotating, so the shear forces are trying to rotate the element in a anti-clockwise direction. So that set of shear forces I will be taking that one to be a negative shear forces. And whenever for this one, so if this one is the center of the element, say, so these shear forces V and V, so they are actually trying to rotate together, they are actually trying to rotate the element in the clockwise direction. So this set of shear forces, we will be calling them to be positive shear forces. and this set of shear forces we will be calling to be negative shear forces. Note that the elements are in equilibrium, so I have drawn equilibrium of those elements. So just whenever the element is having V on the upper side, on the left side, and downwards V on the right side, so that set I will be calling it as a positive shear force. And whenever the V is actually downward on the left side and upward on the right side, I will be having a negative shear force. Or just you can state like whenever it's about the center of the element, actually whenever the shear forces are trying to rotate it in the like clockwise direction. So see that this is downward, this is upward. So actually it's trying to, so the shear forces are actually trying to rotate the element in the clockwise direction. So in that case, it is a positive shear force diagram, positive shear force. And whenever like the element is actually trying to, whenever the shear forces are trying to rotate the element in the like your anti-clockwise direction, so that will be a negative shear forces. And regarding the moments, I have already discussed actually. So whenever, so initially the element was something like this. So so regarding the shear bending moments, actually, I have already discussed something like sagging bending moments and hogging bending moments. So the first one is actually a sagging bending moment. Why? Because you are having the length of the beam. So suppose this is Mn length actually. So this Mn length of the beam is subjected to like your twist like moments. So like this and this. So how the beam will bend? So the beam will actually bend like this. Okay, so if the beam bends like this, you are actually having the convex downwards or concave upwards. So whenever you are having a convex downward, so that set of moments actually we call it as the positive bending moment. So this is actually positive BM. So this is a positive BM, and in some books they call it as the sagging moment. And just for this one actually, so the beam is something like this. So the moments are actually acting like this one. So how is the beam actually bending? So the beam is actually, আচ্ছা এইটা ভুল আঁকলাম দাঁড়াও, this I have drawn it wrong actually. So the first one, so if I consider the first one, so how was the first one? So this was V, this was V, and the moments were something like this and this. So how the element will bend? So if this was the initial length of the beam, so it will bend something like,
স্যার মোমেন্টের ডিরেকশনটা উল্টো হয়ে গেল না ডান দিকেরটা?
না ঠিকই এঁকেছি না, এটা তো ব্যালেন্স করতে হবে. So this is a clockwise, this is clockwise, this is anti-clockwise. So finally the element is in equilibrium. Because if you take any point on the element actually, so on the right side you are having a clockwise moment and anti-clockwise moment. On the left side you are having a, on the right side, left side you are having a clockwise moment. On the right side you are having an anti-clockwise moment. So that at any point it's balanced. So you have to consider it the free body. I am considering the free body where the forces and moments are actually balanced. So it will bend like this. So it's actually convex downwards. So convex downwards is a positive BM actually. And similarly, when the element is something like this, so this one is the negative set actually. So whenever the shear forces are something like this and the moments are like this one, so in those cases you will be having like initially it was this, so it will bend something like this. So you are having convex upwards. So in this case actually I will be calling it as a negative bending moment. So this is known as a negative bending moment or a hogging moment. So sometimes they call it as the hogging moment, hogging BM, and this is the sagging moment. Okay, so done. So now we are done with the things actually. So now let's discuss one problem. So that's from the book actually, the book directly itself. So let's discuss one, how to draw about one SF and BM diagram based on the things that we had discussed. হ্যাঁ বলো।
মানে প্রতিটা পয়েন্টে ওই শিয়ার ফোর্সটার জন্য যে মোমেন্টটা ক্রিয়েট হচ্ছে আর বেন্ডিং মোমেন্টটা অপোজিট হবে, তবেই বডিটা ইকুইলিব্রিয়ামে থাকবে।
হ্যাঁ অবশ্যই সেটাই তো করবো আমরা। So those things we'll do. So let's start with the problem. I hope your doubts will be cleared more. এটা কি অন্য কেউ লিখছো নাকি? হ্যাঁ ওকে। So So like this part of the note, I hope I have shared actually. So you can see problem number, this is 5.1. Okay, I'm not going back to the book like, so you can always refer to the book from your end. So this one was A, this is a point B, this is a C actually. So I'm having a beam that is in the SS condition or in the simply supported condition. So the beam is actually in the simply supported condition, SS condition. So here you are having a roller. So now this is a beam that is being so this length is actually small a and this length is actually small b. Okay? So now you have to draw the SF and the BM diagrams for this entire thing actually. So this entire length is given to be like capital L. So you are having a beam, so that is carrying a centrally applied load of capital P. So you have to find out what is the SF and the BM diagrams. What are the SF and the BM diagrams for the beam? আমি একটু ছোট করে আঁকি, হ্যাঁ, নাহলে এটা বড্ড বেশি বড় করে এঁকে ফেললাম। So just এইটুকুই আঁকলে আমার হয়ে যাবে। So I'm having a beam like this. So it is subject to this is the length A and this is B. So as you can understand, since we are having some supports at the points A and B, so at the support points A and B, I will be having two reactions. So let those reactions, let us call it as RA, and this reaction, let us call it as RB. So now if I write the equation of statics actually, or the equations of equilibrium, so what I should be having is RA plus RB. So that is equal to P. So if I balance the forces, so like this I get when I balance the forces. So sigma Fy. So on the positive side, I am taking it as positive. So sigma Fy is equal to 0. So I should be getting RA plus RB is equal to capital P. Okay? Now if I balance the moments at the point, say suppose, so this was A, this was B, this was C. So I can balance the moments at the point A or I can balance the moments at the point C. So if I balance the moments at the point C, taking the anti-clockwise to be positive, so what I should be having is, so RA into L, so this entire length is L actually. So RA into L, so that is a clockwise moment. So your minus RA into L, and what else I am having? So if I balance the moments, I should be having like RA into L, and this P, this is actually causing an anti-clockwise moment. So plus P into B, that is equal to 0. So RA will be equal to what? So RA will be equal to something like PB by L. So now if you put there, so you'll be having RA is equal to PA by L. Okay? So you get the reaction forces RA and RB, which are actually fixed. So now in order to find out the SF diagram or the BM diagram, so we have to divide this beam into actually two parts. So since why I have to divide into two parts, we had already discussed these things, like whenever you are having a change in forces actually. So from the part A to B, you are having a constant forces. You are having a constant loading, like from this RA to P or A to B actually, if I move, I am having a force of actually RA. So on the left side of the B, if I consider, I am only having a force of RA. Once I cross the point B, actually, a force of plus P actually gets introduced. So up to the point AB, this is constant loading. From the point B to C, it is constant loading. So that is why I can divide this beam into two different parts, AB and BC, and do my calculations. So what I am doing is, so just write down. So initially I am considering a cross section. So I am taking a section that lies somewhere between the points A and B. So I am taking a cross section somewhere around here. So if I consider a cross section somewhere around there, and if I draw the free body diagram of that portion, so I am now considering the portion. So I am working on the portion AB where X actually lies between 0 and A. So I have taken a cross section somewhere around here, and so on this part, so this is the point A. So at here actually there is a force acting. So let this be RA. And at this point actually, so since this is actually, this part is actually RA, so let us assume that, so this is let this be Vx, and this be your Mx. So just write down, we consider a cross section at a distance small x from the left end A of the beam. We consider a cross section, cross section XX at a distance small x from the left end of the beam. So see, whenever why I have applied this Vx on the downward side, I could have applied it on the top side actually, but why I have applied it on the downside, because so as to make this akin to the positive set of bending moments that we have considered. So while we were discussing, so we had discussed like whenever, so for SF diagram, I have considered that for the shear forces, so this is the positive shear forces. So in my case, I am having something like, so there is RA I am having here. So I have just taken that the V to be acting like on the downward direction. Okay? So tomake, whenever you are considering it, so whenever I am cutting it, so like I had an element like, so I had a like bar from A to C. And initially there was a point B. So I can do this balance from the left side also. I can do this balance from the right side also. So suppose you are taking a cross section somewhere around here. So you are drawing the left part. So whenever you are drawing the left part, so you have to do the balance something like this for the same problem. So this is A. So no need to draw the A. So this is RA. So on this point you have to draw Vx on the downside. So this will be Vx and this will be mx. And if I do the same balance from the right side, so if I cut it, so see, at any point inside the element that has to be in equilibrium. So for that, if Vx is on this side, you have to take, for the right hand element, you have to take Vx on the upside and moment just, so this is your anti-clockwise moment, so you have to take a clockwise moment. Boja gelo? Are you able to understand? So that if I now join these two, so if I now join these two actually, so this is RC. So if I now join these two, so whenever you can do the same problem, you can ask me, sir, why are you taking the left element? You take the right element, no problem. But whenever you are taking the right element, you have to take your sign convention, you have to take the shear force and moments like this. Why? So that when you add these two actually, now I am joining these two elements to arrive at 1. So this was 1. So this is your Roman 1. So I have divided, I have taken a cross section XX and divided into two different bars actually. So this is 1, this is 2. Now if I join them, so this was 1, this was 2, this was 3. So now if I join them at this section point, actually what will be happening is, see, Vx downward, Vx upward. So they cancel out, Mx anti-clockwise, Mx clockwise. So they cancel out, so that at any point you are not left with any residual. So since it is in equilibrium, so at any point the reactive forces must balance each other or cancel. So you can do the same problem starting from the left side, you can do the same problem starting from the right side, but you have to keep in mind that whenever you're cutting the things actually, so I am cutting the beam actually into two parts. So this is one part, this is one part. So on this part, whatever are the shear force and bending moments acting, that must be cancelled by whatever are the SF and BM, whatever are the shear force and bending moments acting at this point. So if I am having it AX and X C, so at the point X actually, so you have to consider the moments and shear and moments such that they actually cancel each other out. ঠিক আছে
স্যার কোন বি পয়েন্টে পি ফোর্সটা দেননি, ওটা হবে স্যার
কোথায়
ওই দ্বিতীয় যে ডায়াগ্রামটা এঁকেছেন না
ওটা
রাইট
আমি আঁকিনি সো তুমি এই জিনিসটাই আমি যেটা করছি সো whatever I was doing, so if you draw it from the right side also, so you can balance it from the right side also, but in that case the SF and BM for the same problem Vx will be from this side, from Vx now will become right, on the upside actually. So if you consider the left side, the Vx will be on the downside, downward Vx will be a downward force. If I take the equilibrium from the right side, Vx will be upward force, so that when I join them actually they become a total element. So there will be some problems where for the right side we will be taking sections from the right side, but in that case you have to remember that Vx and Mx will also always change their signs. আমি করবো সেরকম ধরনের problem will also be part of our discussion. So the thing that I was discussing was this one. So portion AB, so what I have done is I have taken a cross section XX. So I assume that at the cross section X, which is at a distance of small x from the free end AB, the shear force and bending moments are Vx and Mx respectively. So that actually Vx and Mx, they are actually trying to rotate the element in the clockwise direction, or it's a positive set of SFBM diagram. ঠিক আছে, জেনারেলি কি হয় দেখো, RA is upward, so RA টা যদি ডাউনওয়ার্ড হতো আমরা কিন্তু Vx টাকে আপসাইডেও নিতে পারতাম, that doesn't matter actually. ঠিক আছে, so now if I write down the forces and all, so just write down, let Vx and Mx be the shear force and the bending moment acting at this point. So now if I write sigma Fy is equal to 0, taking upside to be positive, so what I am left with, so what is Vx? So Vx is equal to your RA. So see, Vx does not vary with x. So Vx is a constant. So it will be just a straight line. So what is RA? RA was your actually PB by L. So Vx is equal to PB by L. Now if I do a moment balance, so if I do a moment balance, so what I am left with, so that is equal to 0. So anti-clockwise positive. So moment balance. So at the point X, I am finding out the moment. So Mx. So Mx is what? Mx is anti-clockwise. So it is positive. And what are the, so RA, what is the moment of the force RA at the point XX? So that is clockwise. So Mx minus RA into X. So that is equal to 0. So I can write it like, so Mx that is equal to RA into X. So what is this equation? This is the equation of a straight line. So this is the equation of a straight line. ঠিক আছে? So now at x is equal to 0. So now if I do it like, say suppose at x is equal to 0. So if I put at x is equal to 0, what I will be having? So what is x is equal to 0 point? X is equal to 0 point is RA. So at x is equal to 0, I can calculate MA. So what will be MA? So MA will be equal to 0. Because if you put x is equal to 0, MA will be 0. And at your x is equal to what? So x is changing from 0 to small a. So at x is equal to 0 to small a, what you will be having? You will be having M. So at x is equal to small a, you are reaching the point B. So from at the point B, you should be having RA into small a. So what will be MB? So MB will be equal to PAB by L. এটা বোঝা গেল? মানে
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
ঠিক আছে, I'm trying to write it clearly. So like it came out to be something like, so Vx came out to be something like RA into X. RA, sorry, so it's constant. And what was your Mx? So Mx came out to be something like your RA into X. So at x is equal to 0 means the right side point. So you are actually calculating MA. So if you put x is equal to 0, MA is equal to 0. And on the left side, so x is equal to like, when x is equal to like small a, so you are actually reaching the point B. So what is MB? So that is RA into small a. So that is PB into A by L. So that is PAB by L. So now I can draw this part of the SF diagram, SF and BM diagrams. How? So you have to take like, so you have to project those points. So এই পয়েন্টটাকে আমি প্রজেক্ট করলাম, এই পয়েন্টটাকে I'm projecting this one. So I am drawing the SF diagram something like this. So ধরো আমি এখানটায় আঁকছি. So this is the x, and on this side I am actually plotting Vx. So this is a graph of Vx and x. So how far I have considered? I have considered up to this. So how was VA? VA was actually VA constant. So it's totally like the SF, the shear force is actually totally constant from A to B. So from A to B, this is the SF diagram. So this is the SF diagram. It's just a straight line. And if I now draw the bending moments, so if I draw the moments actually, so this is x, and I am plotting Mx. So this is the BM diagram. So this is Mx I am plotting. So this is up to the point B. So how was the line? So the line was, it was a straight line actually. So it was a straight line variation. So if you consider y is equal to Mx, so it starts from 0 and it gets to some point like PAB by L. So the SF is something like this. So it's a straight line. Starting from the origin, it's 0. So double H. So this is the line. So you can see in my note actually, such that MA is equal to 0. So at this point, MA is equal to 0 and MB is equal to PAB by L. So now quickly, so let's move on. So the other part, now I'm taking a cross section. So now let's find out.
স্যার ভয়েস গ্লিচ করছে স্যার।
ক্লাসের সময় সবাই ফোন করে, সব স্টুডেন্ট জানে এই সময় আমার ক্লাস আছে, তাও যদি তারা ফোন করে কিছু বলার নেই। জাস্ট ওয়েট ফর ক্লাসের সময় ফোন করলে তো হবেই না। ওকে, সো যেখানে আমি ছিলাম, সো দ্য থিং আই ওয়াজ ডিসকাসিং ওয়াজ, আচ্ছা, সো আই হ্যাভ টেকেন নাও আ ক্রস সেকশন বিটুইন বি এন্ড সি। সো
স্যার কে গ্লিচ করছে? স্যার আওয়াজ শোনা যাচ্ছে না, গ্লিচ করছে স্যার।
আটকে আটকে আসছে,
কিছু শুনতেই পাচ্ছি না।
কেটে কেটে আসছে।
So So now I am taking a portion AC. So this was the portion like, so এইটা ছিল তোমার A. আচ্ছা, this one is the point B, and this one is certain intermediate point between B and C where I have taken out a cross section. So এই যে XX point let Vx and Mx be the shear force and the bending moment acting at a let Vx and Mx with the shear force and the bending moments acting at a point X actually. ঠিক আছে? So now if I do a force balance, so I'm just about similar things like if I do like similar things, so if I draw the SF diagram, so jeta ami discuss korlam, so you could have done it from this side also. So at your home just you try it from the right side also. So if you're taking a right side element, so that's a seta ami korchi na, don't get confused over all those things, it's just the first problem. So now, so I'm taking the portion BC, so I'm taking a cross section in the portion BC where X lies between your small a to small b. ठीक है, so on the portion BC starting from the left side I am taking it, I am assuming that the shear forces and the bending moments are Vx and Mx respectively. So now if I do like suppose say if I do sigma Fy is equal to 0, so sigma Fy is equal to 0, taking the upward forces to be equal to positive, so what will be Vx? So Vx will be equal to ki habe Vx downward, so Vx plus P minus Ra is equal to 0. So what will be Vx? So Vx will be equal to Ra minus P. So Ra minus P, what I will be getting? So Ra minus P, that is Ra is actually Pb by L. So your Pb by L minus P. So that is equal to P into B minus L divided by L. So what is B minus L? B minus L is minus A. So you're actually getting minus Pab by L. So Vx is equal to actually minus Ra or minus Pab by L, whatever you call it. So this is actually constant thing, so it doesn't change with X actually. So this is a constant thing which is minus না দাঁড়াও PAB না PA by L হবে এটা, this will be PA by L.
স্যার আপনি পজিটিভটাকে উপর দিকটা পজিটিভ নিয়ে যান তাহলে আর এটা পজিটিভ হবে না?
হ্যাঁ হ্যাঁ আচ্ছা সেভাবেই করো, জাস্ট এটা আমার লিখতে ভুল হয়ে গেছে, আমি Vx টা বের করার জন্য এটা মাইনাস হবে, this will be minus, you will ending up with the same thing. ঠিক আছে, I agree to that. So Vx will be equal to same thing হবে, Ra minus P হবে, ঠিক আছে? Okay, ঠিক আছে, হ্যাঁ that is correct. So whatever is the convention, do the problem on that also, or that itself. Okay, so ebar, so you can see that it is actually constant, so it doesn't change with X actually. So we can complete the SF diagram on the part BC. So part BC এর জন্য দেখো এখানে আঁকার জায়গায় বেছে নি। So এটাই problem যে like space is very scarce. এরপরে কি ক্লাস আছে?
স্যার এরপর থার্মোডাইনামিক্স আছে।
ঠিক আছে, আমার হয়ে যাবে, I hope to complete by 11 itself, 1-2 minutes more. So এইটা ছিল, so from the point B actually it becomes what? It becomes minus PAB by L, minus PA by L actually. So now so this one is the final SF diagram. So you can hatch it also, so I'm not hatching it. So এইখানে this one, this side it is PB by L, and on this side it is minus PA by L. ঠিক আছে, so it is a combination of two rectangles. So on any point actually if you consider, this is the final SF diagram that is occurring. ঠিক আছে, so points to note, so on the left side it's positive, on the right side it's negative. On acha SF diagram, let's complete the BM diagram also. Then I will be discussing some more 2 or 3 points and then concluding. So আমরা mx টাকে যদি করি, আমি এটা অন্য পাতাতেই করছি, ঠিক আছে, I am doing it on a different page because ওই ওখানে হবে না. So if I do like, so sigma, so now if I balance the moments, so sigma m is equal to 0. So now if I balance the moments, so what are the moments acting? So mx is actually your what? Mx is your anti-clockwise, so you are having minus mx. What else? Then is your moment a. So what are the moments? So this distance, so a distance, this distance is small x, and what is this distance? This distance will be x minus a. So this distance, এটা কত হবে x, and this
স্যার আপনি এবি সেকশনের সময় তো মোমেন্ট অ্যান্টি ক্লকওয়াইজটা পজিটিভ নিলেন,
এটা তো
দুটো সেকশনের জন্য আলাদা চলে আসবে না?
আলাদা
কোনটা
মানে
কোনটা
দিকটা একই আসবে কিন্তু
কোনটা
direction-
কোনটা কোনটা অ্যান্টি ক্লকওয়াইজ নিচে? এই তো অ্যান্টি ক্লকওয়াইজটা ব্যালেন্স করেছি।
না না মানে ও বলতে
মানে
চাইছে না আপনি
অ্যান্টি
এক্ষুনি
ক্লকওয়াইজ
বললেন
ডাইরেকশনে
না
তো
যে
positive।
অ্যান্টি ক্লকওয়াইজটাকে আপনি নেগেটিভ নিচ্ছেন, এক্ষুনি আপনি কথাটা বললেন, তা ওই কারণে ওই কথাটা বলছে, এমনি একই আসবে, উত্তরটা এমনিও সেম আসবে।
হ্যাঁ, this is my sign convention. Generally, I always take anti-clockwise to be negative. So M and MX are different actually. মানে mx টা হচ্ছে moment acting at the section xx and m is just a representation of the moments. So any force that is anti-clockwise, take it as negative, take it as positive. এটা কি anti-clockwise আছে এই
হ্যাঁ
মোমেন্টটা?
স্যার, ওটা অ্যান্টি
আচ্ছা
ক্লকওয়াইজ।
আচ্ছা, ওটা পজিটিভ হবে তাহলে।
ওটাই
হ্যাঁ
বলছি।
ঠিক আছে, ওই অন্য পেজে গিয়ে সমস্যা হয়ে গেছে। ঠিক আছে, সো এইটা হবে তোমার mx। আচ্ছা হ্যাঁ ঠিকই বলেছো, কারেক্ট। আর p এর জন্য মোমেন্টটা, আচ্ছা এই ডিস্টেন্সটা কত হবে? সো দিস ডিস্টেন্স উইল বি x মাইনাস a। আই হোপ ইউ ক্যান আন্ডারস্ট্যান্ড। সো এইটুকু হচ্ছে a, সরি এইটুকু হচ্ছে a। সো দিস ডিস্টেন্স উইল বি x মাইনাস a। ওই আমাকে আঁকতেই হবে, বুঝলে? সো এইটা ছিল। সো দিস ওয়াজ দ্য থিংস। সো here is a force p acting and here is a force of ra acting. আচ্ছা এখানে ra আছে, what else is like you are having a, so this one is the moment m x. So now I am only making sigma m anti-clockwise to be equal to 0. So what will be the things? So mx is positive. আচ্ছা p এর জন্য যে moment হবে, so the p will be also be anti-clockwise, তাই তো? So plus p into, so what is this distance? So this distance will be x minus a. This is a, this total distance is x. So you'll be having like p into x minus a, and r এর জন্য it is clockwise. So minus ra into what? Ra into x. That is equal to 0. So what I am left with? So mx. So that is equal to ra into x. So what is ra? Ra was pb by l into x minus p into x minus a. So this is the expression. So what is this equation? This is the equation of a straight line. So this is the equation of a straight line, correct? So SF diagram will be a straight line equation. Now if I find out what are the values at the extremities, so at x is equal to what? So I have to put x is equal to a. I cannot put x is equal to 0 because it's not. So at x is equal to not 0. At x is equal to a actually. So at x is equal to a, what I will be getting is mb. So what is mb coming out to be? You put all the values, this will be 0. So you are getting pab by l, which is the same as we got in the previous case, mb. So from both these expressions actually we should be getting the same value for pb because b point is common. So from the for the portion AB whatever value of MB I get, for the portion BC also I will be getting the same value of MB. If that is not you are getting, you have to understand that you have done the problem wrong. And if I take x is equal to a plus b, what will be MC? So MC will be equal to what? So if you put the values here, so that will be equal to, just put the values, you will see that it will come out to be 0 actually. ठीक है, PB by L into your a plus b minus p into a plus b minus a, so it is pb. So if you do all the values, like it will come out to be pb by it will come out to be 0. Just do it at your home, it will come out to be 0.
জিরো আসছে।
ঠিক আছে? So now let's complete the SF BM diagram also. So initially the BM diagram was something like this. So এটা ছিল mx টা, so this was the mx. So at this point ma is equal to 0. At this point it is what? P at the point b it is pab by l. So and at this point it is again 0. MC is equal to 0. So you get three points, and now you know how to join them. How to join them? Using a straight line. Why? Because the equations are that of a straight line. So this is the, so it's a triangular BM diagram. So this is the BM diagram for the case considered. So it's positive because it's mostly based on the sign convention. So it's just based on our things actually, it's a positive BM. So things to note, just one thing or one or two things that I will be telling and ending. The first thing to note is, the BM is maximum. So if I need to find out what is the maximum value of the bending moment or where does it occur, it occurs at the point B. So the bending moment is maximum at this point B. See, PAB by L. So where it is maximum? So it is maximum at the point B actually. So why is it maximum at the point B? So is there any connection with the shear force? So you can see that the shear force actually changes its sign at the point B actually. So whenever the shear force actually changes its sign actually, or shear force is equal to 0, you can also call that at this point the shear force was 0. So at this point, shear force actually passes through the 0 point actually, or rather I can tell that it actually changes sign. So there is an abrupt change actually. So initially it was something, just you cross the point, you are getting a abrupt change of the shear force. So whenever the shear force changes its sign or shear force is equal to 0, the bending moment is a maximum. So in order to locate the point where you are having a maximum bending moment, you have to locate where the shear force is actually changing sign or the shear force is actually zero. So any point where shear force is equal to zero, the bending moment will be maximum. Any point where the shear force is actually changing sign, the bending moment will be maximum. They can be local maxima minima, মানে local ও হতে পারে অনেক পয়েন্টে, মানে shear force can change the sign or it can be zero at many points actually. So those cases you will be getting many local maxima and minima. সেগুলোকে থেকে you have to find out which one will be maximum and all. But general thing is whenever it's the shear force is actually changing sign or the shear force is equal to zero, the bending moment is maximum. Number one. And number two, last one is you can do this thing at your home. Just you have to consider the right side of the element. So for the right side, I'm just writing the thing. So if I do it from the right side, so the right side balance will be something like this one. So this one was your RC, and since you are at this point, so this is XX, so you haven't reached the point B, so no effects will be there. Only you have to take the opposite of this one. So you have to take this one as VX and just the opposite moment, MX. So you can do this section for the part BC actually. So you can do this section from the left side also. You can do it from the right side also. You'll be ending up with the same answers. ঠিক আছে? So
Sir,
you just do the right side. So just do the right side things at your home. So this one is your homework. So just do the part BC, do the same calculation for BC, taking the element from the right side. মানে considering the free body from the right side. ঠিক আছে? হ্যাঁ বলো।
স্যার বলছি আপনি এক্স ডিস্টেন্সটা এ পয়েন্ট থেকে নিয়েছেন স্যার, আমি যদি মানে বি পয়েন্ট থেকে নিই তাহলে তো
এই কেসে সেটাই নিতে হবে। এই কেসে you have to take it from this side. So x will be from this side, correct? So x will be in this case from the, so whenever you are taking this, x will be from this side. X is a variable which will which will just changing actually. X এর সাথে কোনো সম্পর্ক নেই। So whenever you are considering from the right side, you take an element at a distance small x from the right side, and but the sign convention, but you have to maintain these directions of mx and vx. So unless আমি যদি এটাকে, if I invert them, so if I make inverse মানে vx downward করে দিই, so actually the element won't be balanced at all. ঠিক আছে? So since for this one you have taken vx to be the downside, so for this one you have to take vx to be the upside, so that entire results you will be getting the same set of results that I have got. So you can do the analysis from the, so you can draw the free body from the left side. You can take a cross section from starting from the left side. You can take a cross section starting from the right side, any point of the beam. But just see that there is there is a conformity between the things you are considering. So that Vx, Mx, what are they? They are internal forces. They don't have any existence. They have to cancel out at the points that you are considering. So based on that, you have to do. So internal forces has to cancel out at any point. ঠিক আছে? So that's it. আজকের জন্য এটুকুই থাক। Already you can join the other class and just give the attendance to me. CR একটু send করে দিও।
হ্যাঁ স্যার, আমি সেন্ড করে দিচ্ছি।
So that's it. এটাই হলো discussion. So I will be sending more problems by today, যেগুলো আমরা next class এ SFBM diagram discuss করব. Study the theory from your end. I will be discussing some more theories which are part of this chapter.
স্যার বলছি ওই পিওর বেন্ডিং চ্যাপ্টারটাতে স্যার ওই বিমের রেডিয়াস অফ কার্ভেচার ওই ডিটারমিনেশনের পার্টটা আপনি করেননি, ওটা কি সিলেবাসে আছে স্যার?
ওখানে সিলেবাসে আছে বললে ওটার একটা দুটো অঙ্ক করিয়ে দেবো। মানে আমিও দেখেছি বিএস জনসনের রেডিয়াসের অঙ্ক খুব একটা নেই, এমনিও থাকে না খুব একটা জেনারেলি, বাট ওই একটা বিম আছে বা একটা রড আছে, সেটাকে আমি বেন্ড করলাম, তাহলে রেডিয়াস অফ কার্ভেচার কত হবে, কত রেডিয়াস অফ কার্ভেচার হলে ম্যাক্সিমাম স্ট্রেসটা এক্সিড করবে না, এরকম ধরনের কিছু প্রবলেমস। দেয়ার আর সাম প্রবলেমস লাইক হোয়াট উইল বি দ্য ম্যাক্সিমাম রেডিয়াস অফ কার্ভেচার ইউ ক্যান অ্যাটেন within the allowable stress range. There are some problems on that maybe, but B.R. Johnson there are not too much problems on that. Maybe I can find 2 or more problems from Timoshenko and we can discuss. Just the application of formulae, তাতে তো আর কোনো theory নেই, just theory has been discussed. ওইখানে একটা you can find out the minimum radius এর একটা
ধরুন এরকম কোন পয়েন্টের ডিফ্লেকশন কিভাবে বের হবে?
ডিফ্লেকশন বের করব তো, we will be finding the deflection. There is a chapter of deflection.
বেন্ডিংটা যখন হচ্ছে ওই বেন্ডিংটা কি কার্ভেচার নিচ্ছে তার কোনো একটা মানে একটা
সেটা আমরা করব ইকুয়েশন ইলাস্টিক কার্ভ, সেটা that is a elastic curve whose equation will be finding out y is equal to what is the equation of the curve. So এটা তো curve, it is taking the shape of a curve, so we'll be finding out the equations of the curve in the chapter like deflection of beams. So that is inside your syllabus. সেটা আমরা এই চ্যাপ্টারে পড়ি মেবি, না এরপরে SFBM combined, তারপরে will be going to deflection of beam. So that is well within the part of the syllabus. সেখানে আমরা করব, everything will be doing.
ওকে স্যার,
ঠিক আছে, you may disconnect and join the other class.
থ্যাংক ইউ স্যার।